You think you are using the technology? You are wrong. The technology is using you. Right now, your focused attention is the most valuable commodity on Earth. It is a currency more prized than oil or gold, and it is being stolen. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is the operating model for the global digital economy. Consider this shocking fact. In 2023, the global attention economy, the total revenue generated by capturing and selling your focus, exceeded $400 billion. That number only grows every second you stay scrolling. For decades, we worried about privacy breaches. We worried about data theft. But the real danger isn't that they know your interests. The real danger is that they control your time. They control your mind. The average adult now checks their phone 150 times per day. That's once every 6 minutes during waking hours. Why this relentless compulsion? Because a highly sophisticated, multi-trillion-dollar industry is engineered to break your focus and capture the resulting debris. What exactly is focus? It is the engine of human progress. It is the ability to sustain concentration on a single task. It allows for deep thought. It creates value. And it is a zero-sum resource. If you spend your focus on endless feeds, you don't have it for your work, your family, or your future. The people who built the algorithms know this perfectly well. They don't just want your eyes on the screen, they want your sustained, emotional, and predictable engagement. They want the most dangerous currency of all, your time, packaged as attention. We used to buy products. Now we are the product. Our attention is mined, refined, and sold to the highest bidder. But how did we get here? How did the promise of connection evolve into the architecture of compulsion? We must look back to understand the fundamental shift that redefined modern life. The answer lies not in software, but in a psychological trick discovered decades before the first smartphone ever existed. Before the internet, attention was simple. Media operated on a scarcity model. You had 3 TV channels, you had limited print space, advertisers paid based on simple reach. How many people saw the static billboard or the 30-second commercial break? The goal was exposure. It was passive. But the internet broke the scarcity model. Suddenly, space was infinite, content was endless. This created a massive new problem for the corporations. If everything is available, how do you ensure your content is seen? The early internet giants promised freedom. They promised free services. Email was free, searching was free, connecting was free. But free means you are paying with something else. In the early 2000s, the Silicon Valley architects realized simple exposure wasn't enough. People could click and leave. They could ignore the banner ads. They needed to measure engagement. They didn't just want you to see the product, they needed you to stay. They needed to hijack your inherent human drives. This shift was profound. It changed the metric of success from user count to time spent on platform. And how do you maximize time spent? You exploit psychology. A crucial development came from B.F. Skinner's research on behavioral conditioning, specifically the concept of variable ratio reinforcement schedules. Imagine a slot machine. You don't win every time. You win unpredictably. That unpredictability keeps you pulling the lever far longer than if the rewards were fixed. Does this sound familiar? Every time you refresh your feed, you are pulling the lever. You don't know if you'll see a crucial news alert, a picture of your niece, or a funny meme. That variable reward keeps the behavior loop strong. As one behavioral psychologist, Dr. Evelyn Reed, explains, the engineers were not creating social software. They were creating behavioral laboratories. They used likes, comments, and notifications, digital rewards, to trigger the release of dopamine. They perfected the schedule until checking your phone became a non-negotiable habit. It's an unconscious reflex, not a conscious choice. The designers weren't naive. They knew exactly what they were building. The infinite scroll, the autoplay video, the deliberately opaque recommendation engine. These features were not designed for your convenience. They were designed to eliminate your stopping point. Why should a global corporation care if you spend an extra 5 minutes on their platform? Because 5 minutes multiplied by 3 billion users is 15 billion minutes of potential advertising exposure. That is the scale of the currency we are discussing. Do you remember a time when you truly finished a website? When you closed an app feeling satisfied? Today, the entire digital environment is built around maximizing the possibility of the next click, the next notification, the next distraction. This creates persistent cognitive load. We are constantly in a state of low-grade anticipation. But here's where it gets interesting. The platforms don't just steal your time. They weaponize your preferences against you. We must now examine the dark core of the engagement machine, the algorithm that knows your triggers better than your own family. Today's platforms operate on pure prediction. The algorithm isn't a recommendation system. It is a prediction machine. It asks one question. Based on everything we know, what piece of content will keep this specific user engaged for the longest possible duration? It uses thousands of data points about you. It tracks how fast you scroll. It tracks how long your eyes linger on a photo. It tracks the duration of your keyboard input before you delete a comment. These are called micro behaviors, and they are worth immense amounts of money. Consider this contrast. While you are seeking entertainment, the algorithm is calculating your emotional volatility. It learns when you are stressed, bored, or vulnerable. The ultimate goal of this system is to create a digital duplicate of your mind, a simulacrum that can be reliably manipulated. Do you truly believe you are choosing your next video, or is the algorithm simply feeding you the statistically guaranteed outcome? In many cases, the system has identified the content most likely to provoke outrage or deep emotional reaction. Why? Because predictable outrage generates highly predictable engagement. This is the foundation of surveillance capitalism. The service is free, but the price is your future behavior. The platforms sell access to your mind, offering advertisers and political operatives the ability to intervene in your life at the precise moment of maximum susceptibility. To put it in concrete terms, targeted advertising on some platforms can reach 99% accuracy in placing an ad in front of a user based on specific, predicted emotional states. The war for focus is a war against friction. Every millisecond of delay, every extra click, every request for input is considered friction. The engineers relentlessly eliminate friction. That is why your phone notifies you constantly. They want to eliminate the space between thought and action. Imagine the cost of distraction. When a task requires deep focus, it can take an average of 23 minutes to fully recover concentration after an interruption. But the systems don't care about your productivity. They care about their own metrics. We often frame this as a convenience problem. It's much deeper. It's a crisis of agency. The battle has moved beyond simple screen time. The battle is now for your internal monologue. If you are constantly anticipating the next digital reward, you lose the ability to sit quietly with your own thoughts. Think about waiting in line or sitting at a traffic light 5 years ago. You might have simply thought. You might have observed the world. Now, your hand instinctively reaches for your device within 2 seconds of stillness. This instant gratification loop creates a dopamine drought in the physical world. Real life feels boring because it doesn't offer the constant, unpredictable reward stimuli the phone does. This dependency isn't accidental. It's essential to the business model. If you can't tolerate boredom, you are a guaranteed customer in the attention market. But what happens when billions of minds are optimized for distraction and emotional volatility? The consequences ripple far beyond personal productivity. The hijacking of individual minds is now threatening the stability of democratic society itself. The first casualty of the attention war is your mental health. We are seeing epidemic levels of anxiety, depression, and loneliness directly correlated with hyperconnectivity. Why? Because constant context switching degrades your cognitive function. Your brain cannot perform deep work while simultaneously managing the flood of external stimuli. Studies show that heavy digital multitaskers perform worse on tests of sustained focus and long-term memory retrieval. You are effectively teaching your brain to be bad at paying attention. Neuroscientists like Dr. Kenji Ito, specializing in cognitive load, explain it this way. The brain evolved to handle threats in the immediate environment. Now, our environment is constantly screaming at us, a million potential threats and rewards arriving every hour. This constant state of alert forces the prefrontal cortex, the decision-making center, to outsource control to the limbic system, the reactive part. We become reactionary instead of thoughtful. This is the physiological state of a hijacked mind. If platforms profit most from engagement and outrage generates the highest engagement, what content will the algorithm promote? It promotes division. It promotes conflict. While we seek truth and connection, the algorithms prioritize friction and emotional heat. The algorithm doesn't care if content is true or false. It only cares if you share it, comment on it, or watch for 2 more seconds. Misinformation, conspiracy theories, and inflammatory rhetoric are statistically superior at generating engagement. They are the highest yield crops in the attention economy. Remember the dangerous currency? Its danger is maximized when it undermines the foundation of civic life. When people live in entirely different information bubbles, optimized feeds that confirm their biases, they lose the ability to agree on basic facts. The platforms have created personalized echo chambers so effective that users rarely encounter opposing viewpoints or dissenting facts. We saw the result of this weaponization during the 2016 and 2020 election cycles globally. Sophisticated actors utilized targeted attention mechanisms to amplify division, sow distrust, and fundamentally manipulate public sentiment. They weren't hacking servers, they were hacking minds. Internal platform studies have shown that highly divisive content often receives 70% more interaction than moderate, factual content, proving the profit incentive of polarization. The goal is not just to sell you a pair of shoes. The goal is to condition your emotional response to information. Every time you rage share a post, you are providing free labor to the attention factory. You are fueling the machine that profits from your outrage. The system relies on your emotional generosity. This system encourages surface-level interaction and discourages critical thinking. Why analyze the source when the headline already gave you your dopamine hit? The true danger isn't that you are distracted at work. The true danger is that billions of people are being systematically conditioned to prioritize immediate emotional reaction over measured, thoughtful response. If the current technology feels controlling, wait until you see the absolute level of immersion and focus theft planned for the next digital frontier. The smartphone screen is merely a temporary vessel for the attention economy. Imagine a world where your attention is entirely seamless. Imagine a world where augmented reality glasses track your gaze 100% of the time. Every object, every person, every moment could potentially be an entry point for an advertisement or a notification. This is the Metaverse vision. Total immersion, total data collection, total focus theft. In this future, AI doesn't just predict what you want to see, it fabricates reality around you based on maximum engagement probability. Personalized, emotional deepfakes could become routine. The line between the curated feed and actual reality will disappear entirely. If the current attention economy extracts a heavy mental toll, the fully immersive attention economy threatens to make personal agency obsolete. When every moment is monetized, how do you find space for truly private thought? The greatest technological innovation of the next decade might not be faster chips or bigger batteries. It might be the tools that allow us to simply be present. The resistance to the attention machine must happen on two fronts, regulatory and personal. In some parts of the world, governments are beginning to recognize the harm. While the United States often prioritizes corporate innovation above all else, the European Union has moved aggressively with regulations like the Digital Services Act. These laws attempt to impose transparency on algorithms. They demand that platforms explain why they show you specific content. They attempt to mandate friction, giving users genuine choice over personalized feeds. But regulation is slow. The technology moves fast. The ultimate fight happens within your own pocket. Remember the shocking start of this documentary? Your focus is the most valuable and dangerous currency. If it is dangerous, it needs protection. The solution starts with small, deliberate actions. First, impose friction. Turn off non-essential notifications. Put your phone in another room during focused work blocks. Second, audit your apps. Ask yourself, is this application providing value or is it mining my life for profit? Delete what doesn't serve you. And third, choose boredom. Relearn how to tolerate stillness. Allow your mind to wander. That space is where creativity lives. The architects of compulsion are relentless. They have teams of behavioral scientists working day and night to keep your eyes glued to the screen. You are fighting an army, but you have one unbeatable weapon: your ability to choose where your attention falls. We were promised a window to the world. We got a mirror reflecting our lowest impulses back to us. The currency of focus is dangerous because its theft degrades our minds, divides our communities, and threatens our capacity for deep, meaningful living. The power of technology is immense. It can connect us. It can educate us. But its potential is crippled when its primary function is economic extraction disguised as human connection. We must shift our mindset. Stop asking, what does this technology offer me? Start asking, what does this technology demand from me? Demand control over your own mind. Demand respect for your time. If you don't control your focus, someone else always will. The most radical act you can perform today is simply to look up and choose where you want to spend your attention. It is your currency. Protect it fiercely.